Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us for our free webinar session today, presented by ERP Connect Consulting. Today, we're going to be talking about the Business Central Health Check, and so how you can optimize your system for free. We estimate that today's webinar will take out about 30 minutes of your time, including some time at the end for Q&A. This webinar is being recorded and will be available on demand after the live session as well. All attendees will receive a follow-up email after the webinar is complete with a link to access the presentation, as well as some extra material. In the chat, you can also find links to our social media, website, as well as a link to our Calendly, where you can schedule a 30-minute meeting with one of our experts at Sabre to discuss any extra questions you might have. With that being said, please submit your questions through the chat during the session, or you can wait until the end for the Q&A. Please remember to stay muted during the session unless otherwise prompted. Now, I'd like to introduce you all to Ben Cole, the president of ERP Connect Consulting.
Awesome. Thanks you, Caitlin. And thanks for having me today. Really looking forward to talking about our BC Health Check as you see up on the screen here. So I've got a few slides to go through. We're going to spend maybe 3 minutes in the slides and spend most of the time actually in the health check itself inside of Business Central, kind of running you through how you can use it and why it can benefit your business. So before jumping into that, I know I was introduced briefly. I'm not going to read through my whole bio, but my name is Ben Cole. I'm the president of ERP Connect, and we're the creators behind the Business Central Toolbox, which is a collection of about 36 different add-on ISV tools for Business Central. The good news is the tool we're talking about today, Health Check, is totally free. So if you'd like it, you can download it directly into your system, and there would be no additional charges for that. Most of our other tools are paid subscriptions, but we're not talking about any of those today. Quick agenda just to frame up what we're going to be talking about on this session. We're going to go over both the gaps that currently exist inside of Business Central, as well as some of the solutions that we've created to help bridge those gaps. We're going to be talking about the setup of the health check, as well as how to walk through the health check and what it means to your business based on the data that it's showing. Then we'll go over some next steps you can take to download this into your system and be successful, as well as the resources that you can utilize on our website and on AppSource to get that downloaded and start using it. I've got the Q&A here. Please feel free to just throw those questions in the chat as we've talked about previously. And without further ado, we'll jump into those gaps and solutions. So the gaps are pretty simple. There's not a whole lot of out of the box dashboarding or reporting available in Business Central. If you're new to BC, you might start to know this. If you've been on BC for a while, you've probably known this for a long time. Not a whole lot of plug and play dashboarding and reporting. No ability really to get system indicators or notifications for areas of improvement, right? You might be kind of going about your day-to-day business, not knowing that things could be done better or that things might be a little bit out of rhythm. We're going to help with that today. And then no ability to scan multiple modules at the same time for reconciliation issues, right? If you've ever tried to reconcile your AR subledger to your AR general ledger, you have to open a couple different screens, run a couple different reports, and then ultimately try to tie those out, right? All of this is going to lead to our solutions. And again, I'm not going to read through all of these, but we'll jump into all of these specifically as we get into our demo today. Some of my favorites that I'll call out here is that first one, quickly analyzing subledger to general ledger balance checks across all modules, right? Making sure GL ties out to subledger, looking at customer aging statistics and late payer flags, right? AR is super important to me. I want to make sure that we're getting paid on time and that our customer activity is good there. We can also see some old sales and purchase documents, review negative inventory, review user logins, change logs, all of that good stuff, as well as posting groups, right? Posting groups are very important to make sure that things are getting posted correctly in Business Central. We'll review all of that today. So again, you can download this from AppSource for free, plug in those user permissions, go through the app setup, which we'll go through today, and then you'll be able to analyze your accounting health, your setup health, your inventory health, your system health, and your change log health. So without further ado, we're going to jump into the demo. But before I do so, there should be a little raise your hand or react, something like that up in Teams. If you click on the three dots, there should be a little smiley face with the react. I've got 4 quick screenshots of some of the most common errors that I see in Business Central. And I just want to see a show of virtual hands here if you've ever seen these error messages, just to kind of get a feel before we jump into the demo. So this first one, posting date is not within your range of allowed posting dates. Raise of hands quick. Caitlin, I see you've jumped in on that. I'm going to raise my hand because I'll give a thumbs up. There's a bunch of different ways to do this. I've seen this one all the time, especially when you go to new months or a new year, right? So that's one of the first common ones. We're going to help you resolve that and make sure that you don't run into that in the future with health check. The second one, let's do the same thing. Account missing from general posting setup. So your customers or vendors got those business posting groups. Your products have the product posting groups, and that combination makes up your general posting setup. Let's do another one here. Raise a hands. Who's ever gotten this error message for sales account missing or cost of goods account missing, anything like that, right? I'm sure a few of us love to just see a quick raise of hands just so we can kind of see as we get into the demo who's gotten this one as well. All right, got a couple there. Awesome. Got two quick more ones. We'll do the same thing. Insufficient quantity of a specific inventory item, right? Quantity goes negative, or you try to buy or you try to sell 5, but you only have 3, something like that. Quick show of hands again. Okay, we've got a couple folks there. And then the final one, if you have a multi-currency in your system, right? There's no currency exchange rate within the filter. I know I've gotten this one recently as well. There's again ways to prevent this, ways to automate this. We're going to go through all of that today. Cool. So seems like we've got a lot of great live use cases here for some of these common errors. And again, that's just 4 of about 25 to 30 different things that we can help analyze within the health check. So with that, we are right on pace. We're about 5 minutes in. I'm going to jump over to Business Central, and I'm now in the health check. So just again, if everybody could raise their hand, make sure that you can see my screen. I should be in Business Central and out of the PowerPoint now just to make sure that that's working correctly. Perfect. All right, so quick on the health check setup. It's super simple to use. Again, you can download it from App Source. All you have to do is come to the health check setup after you've downloaded it. There are some permissions that you'll want to set up. They all start with ERC. So if you go into your user permissions, just make sure you add the ERC permissions. There should be like a common objects and a health check setup. After you download it, go in there, do that, come activate the extension. And then there's a few quick setup fields here. So you could just, if you're playing around with this, go 5, 10, 25, minus CM. What this is going to do, average payday indicator. This is going to be for some of our customer metrics. We're giving them a 5-day grace period in between their due date and today's date, basically to see how far overdue they are. Again, so we're giving them a 5-day threshold. Number of payment receipts per average paydays. We've got a paydays calculation that will show on average how quickly your customers are paying. So this is saying how many payments do you want to use? So in this case, I'm saying let's look at their most recent 10 payments to aggregate and find that average paydays. Number series warning. This will give us a warning once everything comes within 25 digits of the final number series for that number series warning. And then old sales and old purchase documents, I'm doing minus CM. So that's basically just going to go back to the first day of this month. And anything older than that, it's going to show. You could also do minus 1M, minus 2M, whatever you want. Out of box Business Central date for me is here to get started. So that's the setup. Takes about 60 seconds. Probably takes me longer to explain it than it does to actually set it up there. And once you've done that, you are now able to come into the health check and see the dashboard of all of your system metrics and indicators. So I told you that my personal favorite is the subledger to general ledger balance checks. That's the first thing that we're going to see over here on the top left. And I've got it both bank account and subledger to general ledger. So let's start down in the subledger to general ledger. Here I can see that my AR does not tie out, GL does not tie to subledger. AP, that one's looking good, so that's solid. And then bank accounts, here we're off about $200, it looks like, right? Same with inventory, we're off a little bit there. So if I were to focus on bank accounts, I could now come up to the bank accounts here and see individually, bank by bank, which one is off. So that'll help me further narrow down what I need to go look into, right? So American Express, that one ties out, all good to go there. Chase checking, all good to go there as well. And then this Chase credit card, that's tied to account 20510. This is where we're off by $200. So now I can go into my bank ledger entries, my GL entries, things like that, and try to find that $200 discrepancy. Looks like something was probably posted to the general ledger. Obviously, that wasn't posted to my bank account subledger. You can look at the system generated flags and things like that in order to kind of further narrow down those issues in the reconciliation. The other cool thing to point out here in the bank is it will show you what GL account each bank account's tied to. Typically, that should be a one-to-one relationship, bank account to bank account posting group code. And we can see in this case that that checks out. Over here on the right, this is more just of a nice to have. This is going to give you a bar chart by bank account to see how much money you have in each bank account. So here we can see in this demo instance, we got a healthy $751,000. And I've also got my credit cards set up as bank accounts. So in this case, I owe 76,000 on American Express, and I owe 16,068 on my Chase. That's going to tie out over here as well on the left to our bank account posting group setup. Next, we've got customer aging down here. So this is what I talked about before. This is really nice because you can quickly see all of your customers. You can see their payment terms. This average paydays, this is what was looking at those last 10 payments to say, okay, based on the last 10 payments, AG group, they on average pay within 31 days and their terms are 45. So we're not flagging them as a late payer, right? However, transportation direct, their terms is 15 days. On average, they're paying on day 27. So we're going to highlight that in bold and red, and we're going to put a late payer flag here. So again, I could take this out of box Business Central functions. Maybe I want to filter down to all my late payers. This is going to show me everybody where their average paydays is greater than their terms. Again, you can see all the paydays here, all the terms over here, and then their balances. The other nice thing, if you see it kind of underline and light up, that typically means you can click into that data. I'm going to click into this right here. And not only is it showing me all of the late payments, but it's going to show me, again, everything on the customer ledger entries here, just using out-of-box BC functions, where you can drill down even further. If you wanted to see the specific document, for example, you can drill all the way into the document directly from the dashboard. This is one of those big features or benefits outside of out-of-box, right? You don't have to go to 5 or 6 different screens to see what you need. You can drill down all directly from these screens. Next, we have those direct posting warnings. So what this is going to do is it's going to show you anything that is tied to a posting group that you have direct posting turned onto. Typically, that's a red flag. And again, the whole idea behind health check is to call out some things in your system that may not be optimally functioning. In this case, not to say this is a hard and fast rule, although in general, it's a pretty good rule to instill, especially on balance sheet accounts, right? So if I look at Chase Southwest Credit 5039, it's saying that this is tied to a bank account posting group. However, 20510, I have direct posting turned on for right now. If I come back up here, that's likely why this got out of balance. So we'll start to tie things in here, right? But this is out of balance because I can post directly to this. If I were to click into 20510, I can come in here and I can turn direct posting off directly from that dashboard. And again, I have to refresh this, but I can refresh it and then that would disappear off there. So again, kind of intertwining all of these things together, but again, kind of calling out those red flags that you see there. We've got our old purchase and sales documents, as well as sales orders not shipped, purchase orders received not invoiced. This is going to show you, again, some system indicators. We've got things that have been shipped but not invoiced. Not a great thing here from a cash flow perspective, right? The customers have their inventory or their goods that we've sold them. We just need to get those invoices out, right? So I can see that quickly. Same thing here. We've received inventory from our vendors. We have not received those invoices, so we do not have the actual costs in the system. Yeah, we definitely want to get those invoices so that our inventory valuation is correct and things like that. Then down here, old sales and old purchase documents. Again, this is just going off of those date field setups. So it's going to show anything with a created date before the current month, right? So if I come all the way down here, we've got some stuff that was, one that was created in 2025. A bunch of stuff that was created in 2024 and 2023, right? This is an older demo instance that I've been using for a while. So it's got a lot of good data in there. However, a lot of the data is old and I probably want to clean that up, especially if I was in a production instance, right? So I'll pause there real quick. This is one of the tabs that I wanted to go through. And this is pretty much anything and everything that you'd want to see from a base accounting level for our health check. So I'm going to check the chat real quick. Any questions? If not, just give a thumbs up maybe to make sure that you're still with us, and I will go to the next health check indicator. Awesome. Okay, we will jump over to the setup. So again, a lot there was customer behavior, subledger to general ledger checks, old documents, things like that. A lot of stuff that you can quickly clean up. Next thing we're going to pivot into is setups, right? So one of those key errors that I saw on the PowerPoint was that our sales account didn't exist, right? What this posting group setup analytic is going to show you here is it's going to show you every general business and general product posting group that you have in the system. It's going to create a matrix of the combinations of all of those general business and general product posting groups. It's going to show you if that combination exists. And then if it exists, it's going to show you all of the main accounts here that are tagged to that. So you can see if the business posting group is blank and that customer or vendor is buying or selling licenses or monthly in this product posting group, there's no sales account. So you are absolutely going to get an error there, right? However, if I come down to any customers or vendors that are tagged domestic for anything, that combination exists and all the accounts appear to exist with the exception of purchase credit memo account, right? So you might want to add that in. But if you were selling something to your customer and it fell under this, you'd be good to go. Now, down here, we can see that I have a general business posting group of international and all of these product posting groups again. However, these combinations are not even set up, right? So if any customer or vendor is tagged to international, you're going to start to get a lot of problems because that combination doesn't even exist. So two good reasons here. One, does your general posting combination exist? And two, if they exist, do your general ledger accounts for the various sections, sales, purchasing, cost of goods, direct cost applied, things like that. Do we have GL accounts assigned to all those? I will say this is probably one of the biggest areas I see errors with anytime anybody goes live, just because they may have been tagging their customers and vendors simply for tagging purposes, but didn't realize they also have to set up general ledger accounts behind the scenes there, right? So huge value in looking at that. And then as I go across over to the right, we're going to be more focused on dates here for a second. So one of the other errors that I showed in the PowerPoint before jumping in here was some posting date errors, right? I know we're in the middle of a month right now, but anytime you go into a new month or a new year, especially, I see this a lot in January. These allow posting to and posting from dates are going to be very important. And let me zoom in there real quick. So here we can see I can basically post to any day in 2025 here, right? That's probably not good. I probably only want to have the system-wide posting date be March right now, right? So that to me is a quick red flag, but very easy to go fix, right? You can just go into the general ledger setup and you can just change this to March. Now, the other important thing is the user posting setup, right? These go hand in hand, and there's not an easy way to see both of these on the same screen at the same time until now, of course, with the health check that we've done. So we can see that the range is basically all of 2025 for any users that aren't named Ben, Carly, or Grant in this case, right? Carly's going to have a lot of problems here because she can only post to November of last year. This is hierarchical, so this is going to take precedent over the posting dates that you see up here in the general ledger setup. And any other users can post to anywhere in 2025. So we'd want to clean this up a bit. I'd recommend putting March 1st to March 31st here. And then maybe Carly and I can post back to maybe February 25th through the end of March or something like that if we're still closing out February, let's say. Or maybe you want to go a little bit into April as well, right? That's totally up to you. Same with the deferral dates, right? We do a lot of yearly licenses, so I need this at least through the end of March of 2026 right now. 2027 is okay, but again, optimally probably would be through the end of 2026 right now, just with the different deferrals we're doing mostly on a 12-month basis here. And then again, down here, and you're allowed to posting from and posting to date for the deferrals. We'll want to make sure that if the user rides are in place there, that they're either more selective or you can just leave them blank if you just want it to inherit the posting date range setup for the general ledgers. So by doing this and reviewing this, you're going to avoid a lot of those posting date errors because everyone's going to be able to post into the correct periods. And we highly recommend using this as part of your month end close checklist, right? We've got a lot of clients. They'll look at this, the whole dashboard, honestly, each month end close to make sure that they're opening up new dates for the following month before users log in on the first, right? They're making sure that subledgers tie to general ledgers. They're making sure that if they add any setups, those setups tie out, right? It maybe takes 5 minutes just to go click on each tab and make sure there's no red flags, which I guarantee you that 5 minutes will save you a ton of time down the road, because we know as soon as you log a ticket, right, it's going to take at least 5 minutes, right? Probably just to type up what the problem is that you're having. So this can help. It's a huge proactive tool, and we'll continue to go with the setups here. So quick here on closed accounting periods, right? I can see that I've closed everything through the end of 2023. This to me would indicate that we have not closed 2024. We're already almost done with Q1 here. So this to me indicates, hey, we got to go close out 2024. We got to get the year closed. We got to roll that to retained earnings, right? So again, just a quick glimpse into what accounting periods have been closed. And then accounting period warnings. This one's very important. In my system, I've created up through the end of April for accounting periods. Anything for basically May onwards, the setups are missing. So you may not get errors, but as soon as you try to do reporting, I guarantee you'll probably run into some issues doing reporting, because most, if not all of those reports are going to rely on the accounting periods being set up if you're using any date reference formulas, right? So again, just another red flag here showing that your accounting periods are not set up correctly. If we come into accounting periods, that's very easy to just go ahead, come in, scroll to the bottom, and we can see, just as we anticipated, that those periods are not set up. And I would just want to set up at least the rest of 2025. There's no harm in also setting up 2026 or even 2027 just to avoid this in the future, right? So that's a quick glimpse on the setups. Again, highly recommend using this on month-end close. It's a free tool that you can download on App Source. So no really drawbacks to downloading it and seeing what it can do for you. Any other questions? I'm going to check the chat real quick. And if everybody's still with me and ready to go to the next slide, just throw a little reaction up in the chat there, and we'll keep on moving. We're doing good on time. We're about 20 minutes in. So give me about 10 more minutes and we should be wrapping this up. Cool. All right. Accounting setups done. Let's go to inventory. This one's pretty quick, but very powerful. So the first thing you'll see when this loads is negative inventory warnings. So we can see here, I've got 5 items that have a negative quantity on hand, right? That's a no-no. We can't have negative inventory, right? So what I suggest doing there is getting this cleaned up, and then there's options to turn this off, right? To not allow you to go negative, and then you're going to avoid that error. We saw that in the PowerPoint as well, and I saw some hands being raised where this is a common issue for folks. That issue can be avoided in the future proactively, but this dashboard is going to quickly give you a glimpse into what is currently negative so that you have a quick list on what needs to be cleaned up. Inventory value and statistics. This is going to be a list of every item, and it's going to give you key points for each item. We can see what item category it's tagged to, what general product posting group it's tagged to. If it's blank, obviously want to get that cleaned up. Quantity on sales orders. If I want to see the 9 quantity, I can click into it. Everything's drilled down. Quantity on purchase orders, quantity on hand, like we saw. Day supply, lead time, a day supply lead time ratio, average daily sales, current inventory value, unit cost, unit price, total sales. I can filter on some of this stuff up and down so I can see in total what my sales are for that item, sales quantity, purchase quantities, purchase dollar amounts, and then the primary vendor that's tagged to that you're purchasing that from. So again, more so just a nice little grid. We've got some similar functionality in some of our other dashboards that are paid dashboards, but we thought that this one was so valuable that we brought it into our health check and just are giving it away for free as well. But you will find the inventory value and statistics on some of our other dashboards, like our warehouse dashboard as well. So that one's pretty simple and quick, but very powerful, especially if you've got any inventory issues and you want to look into those real quick. I'll keep monitoring the chat. Doesn't look like there's any questions as of now. Hopefully that means everybody's getting the hang of it and kind of gets where the value is. But if there are any questions, again, I'm happy to answer those. We'll jump into 2 more. We've got system followed by change logs. So we'll go into system real quick. This is another very powerful one that I see. So this user tracking, it'll show you all the users in the system. It'll show you if they've logged in. It'll show you the last time that they logged in. It'll show you the license that they're currently assigned, and it'll show the license type, whether they're a full user, an application user, an external user. So again, if you're doing UAT testing or something like that, you want to make sure that someone's logged in and actually tested what they said they're testing. You can quickly see if they've logged in and the last time they did log in, right? If you are getting users with errors. Maybe they're assigned a team member when they need an essentials license or a premium license, right? You can check here and I can see, okay, well, Matt, he's getting issues of posting documents. Well, yeah, no wonder he's a team member. Team members cannot post documents in Business Central. So I need to upgrade his license to an essentials license, right? You can see all of that right here, all in that same view. You can see user last logged in, right? This is me right before the demo, basically 11:23, just kind of central time, getting logged in there. I'm an internal administrator and I'm a Business Central Essentials user and I'm a full user, right? So you can see those types of things very quickly in the system overview. Job queue warnings. This one is huge, right? I see a lot of tickets from time to time of people, hey, my currency stopped updating, my invoices stopped sending out. I don't know why, right? Well, your job queues failed and nobody told you that they failed, right? We've got another tool that will send you an email if the job queue fails so that you don't have to worry about that. You can just turn it back on real quick and troubleshoot that. But this is going to be a quick glimpse at every job queue that's in a failure state. So you can quickly go take a look at those job queues, maybe fix them and turn them back on because we definitely want to get job queues up and running as they're probably a crucial piece to your business there. And then finally, we've got our currency exchange rates. So we saw this in the PowerPoint as well. I saw a lot of people raise their hand. In this case, I'm in the United States, so my core functioning, functional currency is going to be USD, but my multi-currencies are Mexican peso, we got the euro, and we've got the Canadian dollar, right? The peso and the euro, I've got no exchange rate set up. So I'm definitely going to be getting some errors if I try to transact to these two currencies. There's free ways that you can uh, get these rates to automatically update in your system on a daily basis. So I would definitely recommend looking into that. I can send some instructions if needed. You can also click into here to see, okay, well, last time I updated the Canadian dollar to the US was on 2/13/2024. I know lots changing, and this is probably quite different, today. So we definitely want to make sure that that's updated to minimize the FX exposure and the FX risk that we have when managing foreign currencies, right? So that's a couple quick system things you can look at. And again, highly recommend looking at this stuff as frequent as possible. That fits into your agenda, right? At least on a month-end close basis to see if anything's failed or anything you need to work with. But again, like I said, we can plug in some of that job queue stuff so that you can automatically get emailed when changes to the status occur. Speaking of emails, these change logs are definitely one of my favorite pieces of Business Central. Now, a lot of people don't know, but two major differences is we have our change logs and we have field monitoring, right? So in this case, the change logs are just going to show a log of what has changed. But if you want to take that one level up and actually get emails when that data is changing, I would highly recommend checking out the field monitoring functionality inside of Business Central. What that's going to do is it's actually going to email a list of administrators that you define when a change occurs. My favorite one to use this on is vendor bank accounts, right? Somebody changes that vendor bank account or routing number. We definitely want someone to be notified because that's typically a sign that someone's trying to mess with something potentially and make an errant payment, maybe to someone who's not that vendor, right? Or if it was a legitimate, change, then you'll still get the email. You'll just confirm it real quick and no further actions needed, right? But all of those changes, whether tracked or not, are going to show up in this changelog tracking. So you can see what changed, who changed it, what it used to be, what the value is now, if it was a modify, insert, delete, and all that good stuff, what the new value was and stuff like that, right? One caveat here, you do have to have changelog tracking turned on in Business Central. I've got a good video I can drop in the chat here if needed, but as long as you're tracking it, it will show up in the health check here. The other thing is retention policies. So we don't want to bog our system down with too much information, right? So the retention policies are going to keep different data, this one for a week, this for a year, a month, 6 months, right? So by enabling the retention policies, it's making sure to purge old records that we no longer need, right? I probably don't need to keep all of this forever. I probably just want to look at it within the year, the week, the month, whatever that might be. And then once it's been addressed or we're fine and we're good to go, it's going to clear that out, right? So in terms of the health check, that's a full synopsis across the 25 to 30 different indicators that we have on your Business Central instance. Still monitoring the chat, not seeing a whole lot of questions. Let's just do a quick thumbs up if everybody's still with me, and then I can jump back to the PowerPoint, close this thing out, respond to any other questions that come through, and then everybody else can be on with their day and hopefully download this application into Business Central and see how it can work for your organization. So cool. And I'll drop my email as well if anybody has any questions. So that concludes the demo. Like I talked about, this is great to do for month-end close, year-end close, things like that. So I just made this quick. I did a LinkedIn post a couple weeks ago. I thought it'd be good to add to the PowerPoint. So the 5 main to-dos for your year-end close. If you haven't done this already, now is a great time to take a look at this, close out 2024, and make sure 2025 is off without a hitch, right? And how does that health check play into this? So step 1, check your posting dates in general ledger setup and user setup, right? We looked at this in the health check. Make sure that those old dates are not allowed to be posted to anymore. So we're not posting into last year. Make sure that users can post into the new dates inside of Business Central. So that's step 1. Step 2, make sure everything ties out, right? We don't want to be rolling to retained earnings when subledgers to general ledgers don't even tie, right? So make sure direct posting's turned off for those accounts. Make sure that your AR ties subledger to general ledger as we see in this screenshot. And if not, let's get that cleaned up. Let's get it to tie out and let's turn that direct posting off. Make sure we're all good to go for 2025. That's going to be for AP, AR, banks, inventory, prepayments, all that good stuff. Next big one that I see forgotten a lot, close out 2024. Actually close the periods in your accounting period setup and make the new periods for 2025, right? It should look something like this on the screen. It's 2 buttons, create the year, close the year, create the year, then you should be all good to go. Step 4, actually close the income statement, right? Run the function, close income statement, do it by dimension, make sure all those dimensions are closed out. And then finally, I see this happen a lot, post the batch, right? It doesn't automatically post for you. It's going to create the batch, whatever you called it. I called it year end in this case, should have a C in the posting date, and then go ahead and post it, right? So real life application. How can we use health check in our day to day? We can use it in the month end close. We can use it as a year end close. And of course, you can use it at any point in time ad hoc. You just open up the health check and go through what you want. So again, close the year easily with the BC Health Check app, check the posting dates, do your reconciliations, close out 2024, and make sure that 2025 is good to go. Now, what are the next steps, right? We went through a lot of content today. Sure, everyone has maybe some more questions or wants to get their hands on it. Download that free health check, right? You can download this in your sandbox environment if you want. Honestly, you could probably download it into your production environment. Just make sure you add the permissions right away so that nobody gets any errors. But as soon as you download it, you're going to be good to go with that health check. Some of the other things we talked about today, right? This is just one of the many apps that we have. And like the old Apple commercial, right? There's an app for that, right? We have 36 different apps in App Source, and they all accomplish a different feature. Some of our most popular are our invoice and statement delivery to automate your AR, our advanced prepayments, which help expand out the prepayments, and our financial dashboard, another kind of extension off of the health check, right? It's going to give you even more financial data there. So I'm going to drop a few links in here. Just bear with me. We've got our product page and app source. So I'm going to drop that in the chat here real quick. First, with our product page, this is going to give you a listing of all the applications that we have. And then app source is going to let you download 30-day free trials for all of them. So health check, again, totally free. Download it, use it as much as you want. If you're interested in any of the other apps, that's going to be found on the product page for the pricing. And it's going to be found on App Source for the free download, right? We get a 30-day free trial with everything. It's also going to include summaries, screenshots, and user setup guides so that you can be successful with that. Health check, we went through very quickly today. I'm dropping a YouTube link that's going to give you a 4 to 5 minute video on every topic we talked about today. So a 5-minute video on accounting, a 5-minute video on inventory, a 5-minute video on setups, right? And it's really going to hone in. So if you just are interested in one topic, feel free to follow along on that YouTube playlist. I think it's 6 videos, 6 short videos where you can kind of dive further in. And then the final piece here that we've got is our product guide. So I'm going to drop that in there as well. What the product guide is going to give you is it's going to give you a fit gap analysis. It's going to give you 1 page per product. So it is a bit of a long document, but you just go to the pages that you're interested in. Fit gap, configuration times, quick wins, all that good stuff. A really good resource if you're looking to dive further into the BC toolbox. And as a thank you for joining today, if anybody wants to go out to AppSource, download it, and after using it, you found value in the health check, if you leave a public review out on AppSource, we'd be more than happy to send you a $25 Amazon gift card. So just take a quick screenshot to prove that it was you that left the review. Shoot me an email. I'll drop my email in the chat here, and then we'll get that Amazon gift card out your way. So Ben at ERP Connect Consulting is my email. We'll drop that in there. Now, I know we've had Q&A throughout, but again, happy to stick around a few more minutes and answer any other questions that you might have. If you liked this session and you're interested in joining future sessions like this, we do what we call Toolbox Tuesday every other Tuesday. I think our next one is on Advanced CRM next Tuesday, which is a CRM tool we built inside of Business Central. So feel free to scan that QR code, sign up for any of the future Toolbox Tuesdays that we have. And for any other partners, I know Sabre's a partner, but for any other partners, we'll be in Las Vegas next month for Directions North America. So please stop by our booth if you're interested in learning more about the Business Central Toolbox. One more piece outside of the Amazon gift card. If you're interested in any of our paid apps, we're doing both a BOGO, buy one, get one free, as well as a discount on our unlimited extension license, which gets you access to our unlimited library for just $3,600 on your first year. So we've got 2 promo codes there. Again, if anybody's interested in diving deeper into either of those, I can send these in the chat as well. And then this is the last slide, so no more after this. But if you're interested in following along with what we're doing, new products, new updates, just seeing what I've got to say on LinkedIn or what we've got going on as a company, here are 2 different places you can find me, and you can find ERP Connect, which again, we're the creators of the BC Toolbox. QR code on the left, it's going to be me, connect with me personally. QR code on the right, follow along with our company, get updates real time on any time we post videos, training content, new features, and things like that. So I've done a lot of talking. There was absolutely no questions. I assume that everybody got the full value out of the conversation that we've had here today. Again, appreciate everybody joining today. Caitlin, I'm not sure if you have any parting words, but I really appreciate the partnership that we have with Sabre. It's been absolutely fantastic over the last few years, and looking forward to working with more mutual clients here in the near future. Right. Looks like we should be good to wrap up. Yeah, I'll drop my contact information one more time if anybody needs it, and feel free to follow up on additional questions, but really appreciate everybody's time today.
Yes. Thank you for attending our webinar. Again, I'd like to thank Ben for presenting for us today. Once again, you can find our social media website in our Calendly link if you need any more help or want any questions from Sabre Limited. Otherwise, everybody have a great day, and we hope to see you again at one of our upcoming webinars.
Thanks, everybody.